Hey, what's up? This is Samuel G, and this is RPG a Day number 25, I think. Sometimes I kind of mess it up, and so I should maybe just stop mentioning the numbers. So, yeah, almost done in this journey. I've been producing really, really short videos. I was just, I said, since I will be posting every day, and since I will not be alone, I think that there might be like a YouTube overload of content and information and discussion. So I was just answering the questions and not musing much about them. But I thought that for this one, I could maybe just muse a little bit more. The question is, which game has had the most impact, during the year? And I haven't played much, to be honest. I just got back into it, and I played the same old games, like Mage and Burning Wheel. I played the Veil, so I've learned Apocalypse World, but didn't have much impact design-wise and mechanically. So instead of that, I was considering just maybe discussing the question on another level. While trying to stay close to the topic. And I think I just forgot what I was about to say. Give me a second. I'm gonna walk. It's gonna come back. So yeah. I knew I had some kind of a topic, but I'm gonna go freestyle, and I'm gonna keep on recording and post like a very long video talking about many things, all kinds of things. At first I thought about 7C second edition, because 7C second edition, even though I didn't play much this year, but I played last summer, for me was really like a milestone. I did videos about that, almost 2 years ago now, on my channel, but they're not really far because I haven't been producing much since then. And so I was mentioning like there was like the traditional game, from the early age of the hobby, and then eventually the early 2000, the indie producers of game and the Forge and all that went into like a super collaborative and over the top different approach to role-playing game, which explored all kinds of avenue design wise and cultural wise and practical wise and all that, which changed completely the aspect of the hobby. Actually, gave a lot of depth to it. Now we have many ways of playing, not just one way, or the GM way, or the group way. And so that was a good time, and then I remembered at this time I received the core book, 7C second edition core book, which was probably one of the biggest Kickstarter campaign ever. I don't know if it's been beaten, but it was massive at the time. And so I was reading it, and by reading the core book, I was amazed, and I was like, yo, this game is like an hybrid. It kind of mix both worlds. It mixed the super collaborative and open-ended approach to design and mechanic with the more traditional GM player approach and task resolution, but task resolution that is open instead of being fail pass. And Like it was like, for me, it was mind-blowing. And so took me almost a year, I think, to be able to play it with Jason Hughes. I think I have a couple. I don't know if I posted it. I think maybe it's online, but I don't know if I posted the sessions we had. But I played it, and it was great. It was amazing, and it's still for me. 7th Second Edition is still for me like super original and a super important moment in the hobby. It's a super important game because it is, I mean, like character creation and like different subsystems. It's just like it's just like a bunch of, you have like a system which is character creation. You have like a system which is like for managing the villain and what happens in the world while you're not there. There's another subsystem, you know, for resolution of conflict. There's another subsystem for naval combat. There's another subsystem for like which not conflict, but anyway. But I think it's like 5 of them, right? So it's a super modular approach to design, and it shows in the experience of play, because every time a situation occurs, it's a different experience of going about it, right? Mechanically and narratively, therefore. So anyway, when I had this experience of playing, like it had a lot of impact on me, because it's kind of weird because it's not necessarily intuitive, but it kind of opened. I was already going in that direction. You know, I was already opening up to this avenue of approaching the hobby, but it kind of brought me back to my roots, which was, you know, traditional gaming. I started with Shadowrun and Pathfinder, so Traveler. But with everything I gained from my experience with like Burning Wheel and, you know, Dread and all the other games I played in at PAX and my home that I bought, the indie games, you know. So now what I started to do, this is the impact. This is the impact that 7th Second Edition had on me. Now thinking about it, 1 year later, is that it kind of validated the possibility for me to go back to old games, like because I was, you know, like, for those of you who know me or follow me on this channel, you know that when I had my paradigm shift, you know, I was really critical of the you know, of any traditional game and task resolution based protocols and task resolution based, you know, systems and approach to gaming, and so, and I'm still today. I'm still today. I'm really critical about that, and I don't want to play like that way. But what 7th Second Edition did, well, what the designer team went through, I think, is that they are still attached to that way of doing things, but they also aware of the new way, and they know of the good and the bad. And so they kind of managed to produce a game that is kind of like in between. So whenever I go back to an old game now, I'm not afraid anymore of the possibility of having a great experience or of having a great game. I don't know if that makes sense for you, but it's like, for me, before 7th Second Edition, I would never play Shadowrun again, or I would have never play Cyberpunk 2020 again, or I would have never played. Well, I would have, but it would have been, you know, falling short. It would have been incomplete. It would have been empty of so much potential that a lot of other game will provide, right? And so now I'm kind of more confident of my capacity to not necessarily hack a game, because I like to play raw, but to approach it, you know, relatively to all the new capacities I have as a gamer, as a gamer, as a game master, or as a player, or just as a gamer. And so therefore, I can take a game super old school, like I don't know. I just bought, just to give you an example, I'm buying old games now. I bought Boot Hill for Western. Boot Hill is like a 70 game, like 1970 something, 1977 or something game. I got the last edition, which is from the 90s, but I bought fucking Star Wars, but the D6, the Western game, not the new one, because they came up with a 30th anniversary thing. I got that. I got what else do I got? I got a game called Patrol on print on demand to do warfare, modern warfare. I backed Outbreak Undead, which is a really modern game. It's gonna have a lot of elements that are gonna be like not similar to 7th Second Edition, but that are gonna be adapted to the new reality of play that a lot of gamers in this hobby are going through, which is not repeating the same mistakes that we did before. So I'm gonna not in this video, but after RPG a day, you know, I will try to extrapolate. I have a little idea of mine for my channel, so to keep me going. So we'll see. I'll go deeper on these details. But so now I'm super confident when I buy a game like Boot Hill that I'm gonna be able to run a really satisfying, powerful RPG campaign, Western RPG campaign, and it will not be like it was back in the day. It will be updated without changing any rules, maybe adding a couple of things, but not taking away. And but really changing like the approach to play, like the culture around the roles, the decision making, the narrative control, all these new concepts we have. So for me, if I play a game of Patrol or a game of Boot Hill today, or a game of Eclipse Phase today, which are all traditional games, well, I'm not gonna have something super powerful or super efficient like 7th Second Edition or you know, Apocalypse World game, which are really tightly knitted design. So I'm gonna still have these little bumps, these little loopholes, these little issue here and there, but the experience is still gonna be more satisfying than it was. And so this is the impact that 7th Second Edition did to me in the last year. It allowed me to see through a little bit more, gain some confidence about my capacity as a gamer to actually, you know, get the experience I want. You know, allow myself to design my own experience. So by being strong, I live in such a neighborhood you can't even imagine. The things we hear at night. It's not even the night now, it's like noon. Alright, I gotta go. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon.